Ever wondered how a 2-minute video can have you more hooked than a 2-hour long movie? That is the world of microdramas for you. So, microdramas are bit sized serials that are no longer than 1 to 2 minutes, and they always end in cliffhangers. They are serialized versions of your TV show. And currently, this is the new type of content that is on the rise. This actually started in China, where currently now it reports to be a 7 billion big market, and it actually crossed the traditional box office. And not just in China, there are other markets that are also following suit. Also in India, microdrama seems to be on the rise. Currently, they project that microdramas will hit like around 5 billion in market value by end of 2030. What keeps them hooked is that the fact that these serialized drama always end in cliffhangers, and they are so addictive to people who have like hardcore scrolling habits.
And we've seen that the attention span of people has been reducing constantly over the past few years. And no matter how long the video is going to be, businesses are going to find ways to showcase their existence in the content. And these are all always avenues where they can advertise themselves, which brings us to the next story. This is something I observed in my own life. So I haven't started watching micro dramas yet, and so I was watching a TV show last week, and in that show I noticed that one global very popular brand, they wanted to showcase their offering within the series. So 2 or 3 episodes, there is a verbal mention of the brand itself, and it suits no purpose to the setting or the plot or anything. So it felt very disjoint, and it felt like a blatant placement of an ad to me. We discussed about Expensify's ad placement in the F1 movie a few episodes ago, and this was in such sharp contrast to that. In that movie, the Expensify's placement was seamless and it made a lot of sense, but here it was very blatant, and I felt that marketers, if they're going to continue doing this, they have to put in a lot more thought and creativity into how they do it.
I am all in favor of the Truman style contextually placed ads. One, for me as a viewer, I feel like without having those ad breaks, those choppy ads in the middle of the movie, I prefer movies having ads inbuilt inside them. While if it doesn't disturb the plot line or the character's progress, I am fine with that. But when it's not done with taste, yeah, that might irk me a little bit and might leave a bad, impression on that brand or business, whatever, trying to capture my attention on that particular time. But I don't mind close-up shots on a particular product or a brand if it blends well in with the movie.
Absolutely.
Now, that brings us to the next story of this episode. Now, when Wall Street Journal comes out and reports that the most transformative technology in over a century has finally found its limits, and that is to ordering tacos, I think it's a news worthy of discussing. What happened was Taco Bell, on a big, massive scale, out of 500 of their drive-thrus, they have deployed AI-powered drive-thru. So what this essentially does is it has cut all the human dependency of taking a taco order, and now customers can just drive in, place their order, and this just AI handles it end to end. What Taco Bell did was they have had massive confidence that AI was capable of handling human speech, recognizing regional accent, and taking a human Taco Bell order, which is fully customized. Now, actually, I see this as three different problems here. First is the corporate being so in love with AI without being able to envision how it's going to properly serve a final end customer. And the second being is that I understand how brands and businesses are always very enthusiastic to introduce a different sort of experience, but it's most likely not always how the customer wants it. Because in this case, I don't feel like customers would be so enamored by having AI or a robotic arm serving them food, but it's the good food that's going to make them stay. And the final call being is the not being able to test it, because a great product always works through customer feedback. So if before you deploy it for 500 drive-thrus, it would be nice if you did it for 5 drive-thrus as a like an add-on to see how people actually, respond and understood how this actually worked between them and the business.
Yeah, one particular thing that stood out in this whole incident is that a customer ended up ordering 18,000 glasses of water.
Yeah.
And this could be a nightmare to both the customer, even if he did it, deliberately, or if it's a nightmare for both the restaurant and the customer. The thing is, like you said, the corporate side or the management side, they are very, very much enamored by the potential and promise of AI. So they just want to go into it full throttle, but that's not really the right way to go about it. No. So we see that AI technology or AI features, when they are used in a customer facing setting, and especially in this case where it's like the first thing that the customer sees, if it's not going to work the way the customer wants it, it's definitely going to be what's stopping them from going to Burger King? Say, for example, they're like, okay, I don't have enough time. For once, customer goes to a drive-through because they have a dearth of time. So if this is going to happen and they're not going to get their order the way they want, they're going to start ditching the restaurant itself, which will affect the brand in the long run. So I think businesses have to be a lot more deliberate and a lot more planned in how they go about doing.
I agree.
Implementing AI. Yeah.
I think we do live in a very prosperous time of AI, just not in the time where AI takes orders, especially taco orders.
Right. That brings us to the end of this episode. For the ad of the week, we have this new exciting ad by Nike. We all know the iconic tagline of Nike, which is "Just do it." And this new advertisement, it answers the questions why anyone has to do it. The link to the ad is in the description. We hope you enjoy watching it. That concludes this episode of the Weekly CX Catch-up, where we deliver late news with the latest insights. Until next time.